Welcome back, nerds and noobs, to another episode of the Helpdesk Diaries. This episode is going to be a little more laid back. You've survived your first day, you've learned to ask questions. Now it's time to embrace the holy grail of all IT advice. Have you tried turning it on and off again? Okay, but hear me out. Use it for your life as well. The first time I told a user to turn it on and off again or restart their computer, they said, "I've done that already." So, to further troubleshoot, obviously, I then proceed to remote into their computer, check the task manager, and see that their computer has been running for 78 days. What? How does someone even manage that? I thought that was the worst to come, but I've seen 100+ days now, and I don't have words for these people. Like, how do you not, like, I don't know. Just let me know if you've seen any running for over 200 or 300 days, and I will be impressed. I also want to know the story, so let me know in the comments. Anyway, I end up saying to this person, I'm going to have to give this a hard restart just in case. Or restart, just in case. I didn't want to call them out because I was still new, but I did offer them the advice of make sure you're powering off at least once a week. I doubt they took that advice, and since then we have enforced restarts every now and then, specifically for certain updates. So anyway, I patiently waited for this computer to power on again, and oh my goodness, to no one's surprise, it fixed the issue. Who would have thought? Not me. Definitely me. Sometimes it is just that simple. For the noobs out there, most restarts clear cache, restart processes, and run updates that are needed, so 9 times out of 10, it will fix your issue. Once you guys realize this, it should become your default response to everything IT related. But honestly, if I had $1 for every time this fixed a PC or someone's will to live, specifically mine, I'd be able to afford that new Sims expansion pack. So, how do we apply this amazing philosophy to our own lives? Well, it can depend on the moment. For example, one time my brain just wouldn't shut up. I was spiraling about a mistake I had made on this one ticket. It was kind of urgent and very important. Let's just say I had a chat with Bossman, and he was a bit disappointed that I took on the ticket when I already had a massive workload on and left it to the last minute. At this point, I was overthinking. What could I have done better? I was burnt out from all the other tickets I was handling, and I also had decision fatigue. I couldn't decide on anything, what to eat, what to wear, what to say, what to do. I was a mess. Eventually, I did make a decision to log off and shut down. It wasn't about avoiding the situation I was in. It was about the bandwidth that I didn't have and needed to regain. So, I took a day off, with approval, of course, and by this point, Bossman took on the urgent thing and sorted it out, so I was no longer dealing with it. Thank you, Bossman, so much, by the way. He also reminded me that taking a break isn't failure. It's your brain saying, please reboot me before I blue screen. If you ever need a mental reboot, you can also just try closing your laptop or not answering that email at 9 p.m. or taking that 10 minutes away from your desk when a ticket makes you rage. Just take the time to log off and then back on again. It seriously helps, so just restart mentally. Again, if you're an emotional, sensitive person like me, or have a lot of empathy and feel a shit ton, you do need to take the time to shut down and come back sometimes, especially to conversations, feelings, or even a person that's making you feel overwhelmed. Turning it off equals space to breathe, and turning it back on equals coming back with softness, not snappiness. Whether that's seen as walking away from a tense conversation instead of reacting instantly, in those situations it is better to find the space to respond, not react. Maybe do some journaling instead of texting back snarky to someone who just upset you. Just saying that you need a moment without feeling guilt is also huge, and I do recommend saying I need a moment and then coming back to a conversation when you need to. You don't want to regret saying anything you don't mean in the moment when you're feeling so many emotions. So just because something is emotionally urgent doesn't mean it's emotionally wise. Restart. I know working in IT, I'm also glued to my screens and the phone, and then when I'm back from the gym at night, I get the urge to scroll in bed for hours. A lot of people don't even know when they need to reboot until their screen time hits like 6 hours a day. So restart. Try a 24-hour social media detox, then 48 hours, and so on. See how far you can get. And see how good it feels once you get over like the, what's the thing addicts feel when, they stop smoking or drinking. What is it? Oh my gosh, it's such a simple word. It'll come back to me and I'll scream it out in this podcast probably. But you know what I mean. I was also, interestingly enough, earlier today, I was on social media, but I actually saw a news story that came up and is a doctor saying how humans can no longer feel bored. We don't want to feel bored anymore because we're addicted to our screens, our phones. It's just 5 seconds away from scrolling, from Googling, from anything. And this guy even went on public transport and basically said, how long can I last without feeling that it wasn't even a minute in, and he's like, I feel like I need to get my phone out of my bag. I feel like I need to scroll. He found it so hard to keep himself entertained because there was nothing really interesting to look at. He tried people watching, that lasted 5 minutes. And yeah, it was just so interesting to watch because it's crazy. We don't really, besides people who read books and stuff, which I do on public transport when I have the chance, and I do recommend it, but it's just crazy when we remove our phones from our lives to see what actually happens. And, if there ever is a phone worldwide apocalypse where all our phones and electronics die, it will be interesting to see how people go, because without that constant stimulation, that constant feeling that we get, how, we as humans function nowadays, in a situation like that, it would be drastically different. And would we go crazy? Probably. I feel like some of us would go crazy, especially the people with 6+ hours screen time. But yeah, I just recommend you guys to log out of the apps you autopilot into, Instagram, TikTok. Switch those notifications off, like you're blocking your ex's unsolicited texts. The tech world taught me this. Not everything needs to be running all the time. Especially not me and you. So restart. Moving on. Have you ever been in the wrong room and just needed a situational reboot? I'm talking about the environment you're in. Whether it's work or home, a toxic environment is a toxic environment. Take a sick day. Leave the house. Reassess a friendship. Leave that group chat. Restart. Don't keep patching a system that doesn't serve you anymore. So leave people who are not meant to be in your life, or leave them. If they're not nice to you, leave them. If they're not helping you in any way, leave them. let them go, let them leave. If it's the opposite way around and you're trying to keep these people to stay and you're pulling them back into your life, but they're trying to tug away, let them leave. Let them go. Lastly, if you're ever feeling disconnected from yourself, which can happen, especially when you prioritize work or your friends or whatever it is of your own well-being, restart. Remember, you're more than your own productivity. Slow down when your own pace feels punishing. Reboot to realign, not just to keep running. Guys, you're not a Helpdesk ticket. You don't need to be resolved. You just need rest. Just rest. Restart. That's what I'm going to keep saying in this episode. Restart. That's the main goal here. I want you all to restart this week. In any way, in any aspect of your life, I want you to restart something. Even if it's your computer, please feel free to restart your computer. It doesn't have to be a part of your life, but that thing probably needs a restart. I know. I'm talking about you, Jane. Anyway, I hope you all consider turning your life on and off again, every now and then at least. It will make a difference. It might even fix that issue you're having. So, I hope this helped. I'll talk to you later, nerds and noobs. Also, I keep forgetting to say don't forget to like and subscribe, so please do. And I'll catch you in the queue. Bye.